Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The mathematical value toward which a function goes as the independent variable approaches infinity. Decide upon or fix definitely. The greatest possible degree of something. To the limit of his ability. Restrict or confine within limits. I limit you to 2 visits to the pub a day. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. Limit the time you can spend with your friends. The boundary of a specific area. Final or latest limiting point. The greatest amount of something that is possible or allowed. There are limits on the amount you can bet. As far as something can go. The mathematical value toward which a function goes as the independent variable approaches infinity. The mathematical value toward which a function goes as the independent variable approaches infinity. Show the form or outline of. The tree was clearly defined by the light. Decide upon or fix definitely. Determine the essential quality of. Determine the nature of. What defines a good wine? Give a definition for the meaning of a word. Decide upon or fix definitely. Reach, make, or come to a decision about something. Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. Establish after a calculation, investigation, experiment, survey, or study. Shape or influence. Give direction to. Experience often determines ability. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Settle conclusively. Come to terms. Fix in scope. Fix the boundaries of. The tree determines the border of the property. A determination of the place where something is. He got a good fix on the target. Informal terms for a difficult situation. He got into a terrible fix. Restore by replacing a part or putting together what is torn or broken. Put something somewhere, firmly. Fix your eyes on this spot. Make infertile. Decide upon or fix definitely. Fix the variables. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. I was fixing to leave town after I paid the hotel bill. Take vengeance on or get even. That'll fix him good. The act of putting something in working order again. Prepare for eating by applying heat. Fix breakfast for the guests, please. Cause to be firmly attached. She fixed her gaze on the man. Make fixed, stable or stationary. Let's fix the picture to the frame. An exemption granted after influence, e.g., money, is brought to bear. Collusion resulted in tax fixes for gamblers. Influence an event or its outcome by illegal means. Fix a race. Kill, preserve, and harden tissue in order to prepare for microscopic study. Set or place definitely. Let's fix the date for the party. Something craved, especially an intravenous injection of a narcotic drug. She needed a fix of chocolate. An unofficial association of people or groups. The smart set goes there. Get ready for a particular purpose or event. Set up an experiment. Several exercises intended to be done in series. He did 4 sets of the incline bench press. Representation consisting of the scenery and other properties used to identify the location of a dramatic production. The sets were meticulously authentic. A relatively permanent inclination to react in a particular way. The set of his mind was obvious. Disappear beyond the horizon. The sun sets early these days. Decide upon or fix definitely. Put or set seeds, seedlings, or plants into the ground. Establish as the highest level or best performance. Set a record. Urge to attack someone. Set down according to a plan. A carefully laid table with places set for 4 people. Usually followed by to or for, on the point of or strongly disposed. We are set to go at any time. Converted to solid form, as concrete. Make ready or suitable or equip in advance for a particular purpose or for some use, event, etc. Determined or decided upon as by an authority. The time set for the launching. Equip with sails or masts. Insert a nail or screw below the surface, as into a countersink. Locate. The film is set in Africa. Fixed and unmoving. With eyes set in a fixed glassy stare. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Adapt for performance in a different way. Set this poem to music. Psychology, being temporarily ready to respond in a particular way. The subject set led them to solve problems the familiar way and to overlook the simpler solution. Become gelatinous. Situated in a particular spot or position. A house set on a hilltop. Fix conclusively or authoritatively. Set the rules. Evil Egyptian god with the head of a beast that has high square ears and a long snout, brother and murderer of Osiris. Arrange attractively. Alter or regulate so as to achieve accuracy or conform to a standard. Estimate. The process of becoming hard or solid by cooling or drying or crystallization. He tested the set of the glue. Bear fruit. Set in type. My book will be typeset nicely. A group of things of the same kind that belong together and are so used. A set of books. Any electronic equipment that receives or transmits radio or TV signals. The early sets ran on storage batteries. Apply or start. Set fire to a building. A unit of play in tennis or squash. They played 2 sets of tennis after dinner. Being below the horizon. The moon is set. Fix in a border. The goldsmith set the diamond. Give a fine, sharp edge to a knife or razor. Mathematics, an abstract collection of numbers or symbols. The set of prime numbers as infinite. Put into a certain state. Cause to be in a certain state. Set the house afire. Put into a position that will restore a normal state. set a broken bone. Set to a certain position or cause to operate correctly. Set clocks or instruments. The act of putting something in position. He gave a final set to his hat. The descent of a heavenly body below the horizon. Before the set of sun. Decide upon or fix definitely. Specify the parameters. Determine the essential quality of. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. Select something or someone for a specific purpose. Design or destine. Be specific about. Could you please specify your criticism of my paper? Define clearly. Form the boundary of. Be contiguous to. Bound by contract. A light, self-propelled movement upwards or forwards. Spring back. Spring away from an impact. Covered or wrapped with a bandage. An injury bound in fresh gauze. The greatest possible degree of something. What he did was beyond the bounds of acceptable behavior. Usually followed by to, governed by fate. Bound to happen. Headed or intending to head in a certain direction, often used as a combining form as in college-bound students. Children bound for school. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. Move forward by leaps and bounds. The horse bounded across the meadow. A line determining the limits of an area. The line or plane indicating the limit or extent of something. Bound by an oath. A bound official. Confined by bonds. Bound and gagged hostages. Confined in the bowels. He is bound in the belly. Held with another element, substance or material in chemical or physical union. Secured with a cover or binding, often used as a combining form. Bound volumes. The greatest possible degree of something. A line determining the limits of an area. The line or plane indicating the limit or extent of something. Restrict or confine within limits. Our actions are circumscribed by our biology, personality, and by the social and cultural context into which we are born. Draw a line around. To draw a geometric figure around another figure so that the two are in contact but do not intersect. Restrict or confine within limits. Deprive of freedom. Take into confinement. Close in. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. To close within bounds, or otherwise limit or deprive of free movement. Prevent from leaving or from being removed. Place under restrictions. Limit access to by law. That area is restricted to security personnel only. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. Restrict the use of this parking lot. Place restrictions on. Prevent information from being circulated or disclosed. Kill by squeezing the throat of so as to cut off the air. A pedal that controls the throttle valve. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. Reduce the air supply. A valve that regulates the supply of fuel to the engine. Catch in or as if in a trap. A fishing net with 3 layers. The outer 2 are coarse mesh and the loose inner layer is fine mesh. A restraint that confines or restricts freedom, especially something used to tie down or restrain a prisoner. Place limits on, extent or amount or access. An adjustable pothook set in a fireplace. A restraint that is used to teach a horse to amble. A conceptual separation or distinction. The boundary of a specific area. The boundary of a specific area. Final or latest limiting point. Final or latest limiting point. An act of limiting or restricting, as by regulation. A principle that limits the extent of something. The greatest amount of something that is possible or allowed. It is growing rapidly with no limitation in sight. Law. A time period after which suits cannot be brought. Statute of limitations. The quality of being limited or restricted. It is a good plan but it has serious limitations. An estimated quantity. Detect with the senses. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. She selected a pair of shoes from among the dozen the salesgirl had shown her. Selected or chosen for special qualifications. Of superior grade. Select peaches. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the dye. Require, time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require is useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Select as an alternative over another. I always choose the fish over the meat courses in this restaurant. See fit or proper to act in a certain way. Decide to act in a certain way. The distance or area or volume over which something extends. The vast extent of the desert. The point or degree to which something extends. The extent of the damage. A process of becoming smaller or shorter. The act of decreasing or reducing something. Decrease in size, extent, or range. The amount of homework decreased towards the end of the semester. A change downward. There was a decrease in his temperature as the fever subsided. Make smaller. He decreased his staff. The amount by which something decreases. Decrease in size, extent, or range. Make smaller. Wear off or die down. Make smaller. The line or plane indicating the limit or extent of something.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.